This is the Financially Simple Podcast, a show dedicated to destroying the complexities of money for today's small business owner. And now, here's your host, pizza-loving, certified financial planner, Justin Goodbread.
Welcome to Financially Simple. Today, we're going to continue our deep dive into the subject, building your team for maximum value growth. Today's episode is titled 3 Key Areas to Address for Maximum Value Alignment. In our last episode, we dug even deeper into the cultural values of your team. You may discover that your team is highly functional, or you may have discovered that your team needs a little bit of improvement. We all know that turnover hurts a team. We know this. We know that it takes a lot of money to hire somebody, a lot of energy, a lot of soft costs to hire somebody. And so in efforts to minimize turnover, we can actually work to align 3 specific areas of our business. So today's going to be a brief episode, but I want to talk about these 3 specific areas. The first thing we can work to align is personal values. You know, every company is made up of people, and people are different. We talked about diversity of people. We talked about different backgrounds, different upbringings. Every person approaches the business with different personal values. Here's a couple of questions you can talk with your managers or with your core team to help figure out and align what your core team's personal values are. So here's a question. From the values you chose, so we're talking about the assessment that we looked at last time, the assessment that helped determine if your business cultural values were in alignment. The values that it chose, which 2 are the most important? So it may be honesty or integrity or candor or logic or respect or servant leadership. Maybe those are the values. Which are the most important? And have them write them. And then find out why one value is more important than the other. So someone may say, honesty is extremely important. Honesty, that's one of my core values, is you've got to be honest. Honesty is probably my top 2, believe it or not. It's got to be valuable. Why do you believe this is important to me? Because I have been the recipient of dishonest acts. I have been the recipient of dishonest deeds, and it hurt. It hurt really bad. You may ask them, hey, can you recall a time when you really lived this value? Is there a time whenever you were honest to the point that it hurt? Was there a time when you were honest to the point that it made you uncomfortable? And I'm not talking about when your wife says, fellas, hey, does this skirt make me look fat? No, now's not the time to be honest. Okay. Unless the answer is no. Now, Miss Emily, never, ever, ever. I mean, she's 110 pounds soaking wet. She's never that case. But, you know, is there ever a time when your value, you had to live it and it affected you? What behaviors did you exhibit? There are some people that respect is a major issue for them. Major issue. I know some doctors, and if you don't respect them, they get pissy. It's pretty interesting. What behaviors do they experience if they're being disrespected? They get sassy. They get smart. I think we all do a little bit, right? You may ask the question, how do you react if the value is not being honored by others? Describe your feelings and thoughts. See, friends, as a business owner, you first have to know what makes your team tick. There's a member of my team that I have to overly appreciate them. That is a value. That's their number 1 value, is they want to be treated with gratitude. So I know this, and I go out of my way to make sure their personal values are honored. You may ask the question, why is this value important to you? Why do you feel like it's not honored? When do you feel like the business is not honoring your value? And you can find out the things that is disrupting their current behavior within the business. So the first thing we have to do is we have to go on a personal level. The second thing you have to do is you have to work with the team, align the team. Alignment of the team begins, it could be with management, it could be with executives, it could be with the front line, the rank and file, whatever term you want to use. But it's aligning the team. So as your team gets alignment, you may find out that one of the core values is independence. They want to have independence. Well, but if that is not the cultural value, if the cultural value is accountability, then how are you going to shift independence to accountability? It can be one and the same. So you have to work on identifying what is it that your team as a whole, individually, collectively as a whole value, and what is the cultural value that you desire. And so you have to look at the 2 differentiations. And there's a way to do that. One of the matrix from the Barrett study will allow you to actually look at what is the team effect. You can do this on your own. You say, Justin, I don't want to hire the bear. You can go through and you can talk to your team about the things that they most respect or they most desire. I've seen people do this on a whiteboard. They'll get on a whiteboard and they'll say, hey, what is the number one thing that we want to portray? And then the people start shouting out answers. I saw a church do this one time. They started shouting out answers. And then they said, which is more important, this or this? And they just started doing votes. And as they were voting, they actually had people raising their hands is whatever the numbers was. Honesty over integrity, which is more important? People who think honesty is number one, raise your hand. Mine would be up. People over integrity, number one, raise your hand. Some people would be up. They look at the vote. Okay, honesty's out on this one. Honesty over ethics, which is most important? And you could narrow down the top 10 things in that aspect. And you can also align on where your current company, you're desiring your company to go.
You are listening to Financially Simple, destroying the complexities of money for today's small business owner.
After you align the team, then you have to align the organization as a whole. So your team may be referring to your executive team, your management team. Your organization as a whole is going to be from the top down, number 7 through number 1. The organization as a whole. This is going to take some time. You may say, look, team, as a whole, we want this organization to be one that is focused on empowerment. We want to empower our team to make decisions, but we're not there yet. We have distrust at this point. How do we move from distrust to empowerment? We may say we want a team that is focused on continuous improvements. That's one of the things that we strive for, but yet we have a team right now that's dealing with blame. How do you move your team from 1 to 2? And so that's where you as the executive and you with your coach can help shift the dynamics of the team. Now, next episode, we're going to look at the advantages of shifting the dynamics of the team. Believe it or not, this actually makes sense. When you start looking at, hey, my team's values are one thing. They are more selfish. They're more self-concentrated. They're more on survival mode versus they're now thinking about others. They're thinking about how they can affect change in the community, how they can affect change throughout the world. That is a major transformation. Friends, you may say, Justin, I've only got 3 of us in the organization. It doesn't matter. This is big business concepts. This is concepts from big businesses which have made a lasting impression on the global business environment that we can learn from. And as we make these chronographic, as we make these strategic, as we make these synergistic, whatever term you want to use there, changes in our business, we will drive the value up. And next episode, we're going to talk about how value does change by shifting the culture. So I told you it's going to be a short episode today. I just want to drop this in to help clarify some of the missing points from last episode. Guys, take a look at the Financially Simple newsletter. Like I said, we're getting a ton of new subscribers. We also are picking up a lot of followers on Facebook. We have a couple of giveaways going on Facebook right now, on Twitter and LinkedIn. I have even like 7,000 people following me on Instagram. I'm not sure why that is. My life is not that exciting. I did post a picture of me in pajama pants, flip-flops, and my shotgun, getting ready to go out and shoot something. And my wife thought it was funny. She's like, you are such a redneck. I don't know about that, but I'm having a good time in life. Hey, check me out on social media. If you have a question, shoot me an email, justin@financiallysimple.com. I'll be sure to answer it. We're going to wrap up this episode sometime around Christmas time, and we're going to have a fun episode on personal finances. I hope you're ready for it. We're not going to be answering questions like, how do you get out of debt? There's enough blog people out there that said, I paid off $20,000 in debt. Here's why you should listen to me. No, we're going to go beyond that and actually dig in some real good business, personal finance things. Hey guys, as I say every week, life is hard, life is good, and life can be frustrating. Money doesn't have to be. Let's continue to make our lives, at least financially, simple. You guys go out and make it a great day.
You have been listening to the Financially Simple podcast. The information in this show is for informational purposes only. This show is not investment advice. Instead, seek help from a competent financial advisor. Justin Goodbread, CFP, is an investment advisor representative of Heritage Investors, a registered investment advisor.